Hey, are you scared of the fact that rapid environmental dilapidation will be the root cause of the fall of civilization? Oh. Well, let's just talk about a time when people took a look at the environment and they said, hey, environment, you don't look so hot, man. I think we gotta help them out. Am I right, fellow governments? And then they solved it. This degradation was mostly caused by capitalism, my favorite! Now, as a result of the Industrial Revolution and our machines constantly farting smog into the atmosphere, there are two problems. Number one, pollution, which causes massive reduction of biodiversity, and a lot of dead animals, and a lot of dead plants, and a lot of sick people. And the second problem is climate change, which is the utter destruction of weather and the atmosphere, which probably is not good. I mean, I don't want to die. Now, the first problem was solved in the 1960s and early 1970s due to the environmental movement, which was a movement of people who said, hey, let's solve the planet's problems, man. I cannot pronounce words, apparently. Basically, what the environmental movement wanted was reform in laws that would disable companies' abilities to pollute, and they also wanted social reform that made people want to not litter and want to recycle. The American public became aware of the increasing degradation of the environment when the book Silent Spring by Rachel Carson was released to best-selling acclaim. And basically what happened was, that's why my child's having seizures. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have blamed that on the immigrants again. Now, other things also caused the American public to be acknowledged about economical decline, such as economical travesties, like the Santa Barbara oil spill in California, or the 3 Mile Island partial reactor meltdown in Pennsylvania, which happened. I didn't know that happened. Now, another huge thing that is almost always identified alongside the environmental movement is the lead. Woo! We got lead in everything, ladies and gentlemen. Gas, paint, children, causing neurological decay, coma, and death. We got it, baby! Now, let's talk about tactics, or as I like to call them, reverse tic-tacs. Now, the environmental movement had your basic slew of protest tactics, such as speeches and marches and advertisement campaigns and very good speakers. But it also had a lot of benefits from being something that you could actually see happen. You could see the degradation of your water systems and your forests. So what they did was, if they saw like a tree about to be cut down, they just tie themselves to it. They go, no, you're not allowed to touch this tree. It's my tree. Which was pretty effective because you can't just bulldoze through a person. Well, you could, but you physically could, but you can't because of laws. Now, I bet you're wondering, is he gonna say the thing? Is he gonna say the thing? Oh, I bet he's gonna say the thing. Ooh, I bet he's gonna make a reference. I have to talk about the guy. You know, the man with the plan, and sometimes he goes by Stan. I don't know. He's big, he's orange, and he's got a nice yellow mustache. I'm talking about the Lorax. Also Poison Ivy. Now, The Lorax is a book written by Dr. Seuss in 1971. Wait, hold on. Yeah, 1971. It's basically a hopeful story about how the environment needs effort for it to be saved, but it is definitely possible, and the Lorax will help you by telling you what to do. And then there's Poison Ivy, who is a warning to the people in power that eco-terrorist organizations will be formed if they do not act, which they did not. Judging by the forming of two groups known as the Earth Liberation Force and the Animal Liberation Force, also known as ELF and ALF, which is probably the best name I've ever heard for a terrorist organization who primarily does arson on buildings that have no people in them. Yeah. Now, one of, or even the most important figures in the environmentalist movement was Gaylord Nelson, who you might know as a long-running Wisconsin politician who helped the environmental movement in many ways with policies. Or you might remember him as the guy who invented Earth Day, because, he did that, because he was just that cool. And, of course, there's also the organization PETA, which I don't know what it stands for, but it seems pretty good. It was formed in 1980, and still goes to this day, showing off the same sort of tactics as used in the environmental movement, such as displays that got people talking. Yeah, even if you're criticizing them, they still get your attention, don't they? Now, some people might say,
part of my degree in Redditology, it is apparent to me that the environmental movement did not actually do anything.
It says here you're wrong. This movement is one of the most successful in all the nation. For instance, the implementation of the Clean Water Act, the Clean Air Act, and the Environmental Pesticide Act, which limit use of pesticides, kept motor vehicles and industries from polluting the air, and kept motor vehicles and industries from polluting the water. And air and water are kind of like the things that you need to live, so yeah, you should probably be grateful that it's not full of poopy. Well, it is full of poopy, but not poopy that's bad for you. And, of course, the founding of the EPA, the Environment Protection Agency, founded by good old Richard Nixon. Yeah. Let's give it up for old Rich. Man. And of course, there are a few failures. No offense, Seattleites, but your city, it's kind of full of garbage. And not just the kind living in the apartment buildings, am I right? The movement also kind of failed to keep the momentum going far into the 21st century because, there's that thing that would be really nice to have like a majority agree on is actually happening. That, the thing that's a chronic threat to civilization's future, I mean, hey, but the movement did make environmental consciousness be a really good thing and, seen as a core value in a lot of people. But, everybody could play a part in helping. Even you. Well, I'll see you next time when I cover another topic that is completely disjointed from the rest of my content. Bye-bye! Aww.